regards to this definition of the word divestment, I've been noticing this been floating around lately throughout the internet,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm kind of confused because when people say they divest it, do they really understand what they really mean by divestment or the word, the definition, or the literal word of it? I'm not sure if you want to break this down, if you can,
Mm.
please.
Well, yeah, they do. They do. Because it's going back to what I was just mentioning. What you see these people trying to escape are the compounding adverse effects of racism and white supremacy. See, there's a black tax, and the black tax is compounded. Like various factors will compound the black tax. So reproducing black compounds the black tax because now you have to carry the burden of children who are black and are also taxed because they're black. So they see the children as a fucking burden. They don't see the children as sacrosanct. The children are a burden. So what you have individuals who are looking for the leisure and the comfort and the convenience that's propagandized in the media, through social media, through the celebrities, through the entertainers. This isn't anything new. They've been doing this. This was the entire premise of E. Franklin Fraser's book, The Black Bourgeoisie, the myth of the black American middle class, the myth of the so-called high value black man. Even then, this is what he was talking about. How they use celebrity. It's a cloak. It's a cloak to hide what the real situation and condition is of the entire group, the group as a racial organism, the group as a racial threat to white supremacy, to white purity. See, whiteness is seen as something pure. Whiteness and purity are synonymous. So they put certain blacks in certain positions to give this false image. To give a false image.
I get you.
That's what E. Franklin Fraser was talking about. The black bourgeoisie, white collar workers, high earning blue collar workers. Jack and Jill, these mulattoes. Like economic stratification in black society has always been colorist. It's always been colorist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So it's just something, and this is what they would do and what they would use. This is how you get the myth of black business or black capitalism as a means of social uplift for the entire group.
Mm.
That's where it comes from. But black business is woefully inadequate when it comes to alleviating what the problem with black people. So that shit was a myth. This is why I've disagreed with Dr. Claude Anderson. You have to really have to sit here and argue with niggas and try to get them to see how when they start blaming integration for it's just some dumb shit. Because the bottom line is you ain't integrated. You're more segregated than you've ever been. You weren't integrated.
Facts, because you only hold 2% of the wealth in this country. You're not integrated.
Exactly. The integrationist policies that were enacted through Lyndon Johnson, that shit was rolled back through the Southern strategy in Republican dominance and national politics.
Mm-hmm.
So you weren't integrated. You're more segregated than you've ever been. The segregation is nothing but a form of quarantine.
And it's even more economic quarantine. You think about it. Because one
Yeah,
time you have
social,
some money
political,
around.
and economic quarantine. Social, political, and economic quarantine. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
So what you have in this time, it's compounded. So this is why we look at an why we look at children. We have this aversion for children. This is why you see the brothers mad as hell on like Satan. You know what I'm saying? At war with the woman, like the dragon in the Bible, mad with the woman because of the child,
Mm-hmm.
because the child becomes a burden to this nigga fucking male who loves sex.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like because the system makes him pay for the child he made, but didn't necessarily want. Now he has this this wrath for the woman
Mm-hmm.
because now his burden has become even his burden of being a black man in the society has become even more burdensome. This is really what they be saying, Chaos.
Mm.
Listen to what they say.
Yeah.
So this whole shit about and the women too, this whole shit about divesting it, like that's what they're trying to escape.
But Mary, in regards to the women, they said they don't want to deal with the black males and they want to bring forth children, a certain gender of children. But my thing is, how you gonna have still black people, especially if you want black girls? Where are they gonna
You
come from?
you can't like that's the this is the silliness of it. This is the logical fallacy. This is the circular logic and reasoning. And so you got to realize that there is no purpose of the gender war. The purpose of the gender war is to have the gender war because this is how these people make money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a logical fallacy. You can't create more black girls without black men.
It's that simple.
You can't create more black men without black women.
Mm-hmm. What is it? 1 plus 0 supposed to equal 2. I'm not sure what was it.
Yeah, one plus zero gonna always equal one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
equal two.
Mm-hmm.
With
Yeah.
like it really what you're dealing with in this entire sector is it's a divestment sector.
Facts. Yep.
That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
Whining and complaining because the reality of blackness be tearing their ass up.
Mm-hmm.
And they aren't strong enough and man enough to weather the goddamn storm.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it is, man. That's really what it is. I told you, like these children ain't nothing but a moral device, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If there was no penalty assigned for men for creating children out of wedlock and shit, like with the child support and the family, they'd do it till the cows come home.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
They'd do it. Excuse me. They'd do it till the cows come home. The only reason why it's such a visceral issue is because they know that there's a cost attached to it, and that's what they call a gynocracy. Then you have this other subset of dudes who ain't getting no ass,
Mm-hmm.
and the women are as easy as they've ever been,
Yeah.
and they ain't getting none.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to be fair, you can't necessarily blame brothers for not wanting a woman who already have kids. That is his right and prerogative as a man.
Yeah.
This man ain't meant here just to be your mule to help take care of the kids that you made with dudes who wasn't stun you. And we talked about this, how there's actually a single mother hierarchy. We're gonna do a show on it.
Okay.
All single mothers ain't the same. There is a single mother hierarchy in the minds of men. There's a single mother hierarchy.
Stay tuned for that, people.
The only reason why you see this visceral reaction to single mothers from brothers and from even is because the entitlement that the women talk with. They think they just entitled.
Facts. But when I
See,
can
so
go, when
you
I go,
can't. Hold on. Well, I'm not gonna go too far into it, but I do want to say this: you can't uh tell this man he your soulmate and all this other stuff, but you didn't think enough about him to wait or to save your reproduction. If he's so special, when he's your soulmate and the stars and the tarot cards are saying that, then why you got kids by other niggas when he show up? I'm gonna leave that part right there.
all
We're gonna
right,
talk
good.
about it. We're gonna talk about it one day because these I understand what the dude's saying on that.
Maybe you should note that, because I know I might not remember this, but note that for a
Mm,
future show if you can. I know you don't keep
yeah,
notes, but please note that. That needs to be noted, because we need to really discuss that, because I never thought of a hierarchy of things, especially with deals with single motherhood. But now that you brought this to the table, that's something to examine. I know most people gonna try to dissect that, but we're gonna leave that
right.
there for them to meditate.
Yeah,
But
because I'm gonna
okay.
tell you, like I will say
Mhm.
this, it'd be funny because like I be seeing brothers posted like showing screenshots of women on dating apps. The mother of 4 kids looking. So you know what I'm saying it's out of hand.
I know it's just ridiculous, bro. And I'm thinking, say, who wants to bottle all that? But we're gonna leave that alone. You know what I'm saying, we'll leave that. We'll just leave that alone. So